You follow me? Yeah, nice to hear. Yeah, yeah. You're looking for accommodation to stay with the kids. A campsite like this, I think, is just perfect. There's so much to do for the kids here. Main walking street, where of course you have lots of cafes, fresh produce, locally grown fruits, vegetables. This, we would have to come back here later, I see that. Or you can film me going up and maybe falling down. An amazing view over Omiš. There's way less crowded out here, it seems, on these beaches compared to the two sandy beaches or the three sandy beaches we visited earlier. Today we are in Omiš, which is a city located around 25 kilometers south of Split, and we're gonna take you for a walk around the city like we do in our other videos. Omis is a really nice town, very friendly for kids. You're gonna see that on the footage. Anyway, let's get going. And we are actually now in Duće, which is the city which connects to Omiš when you come from Split. And I wanted to start out here because this beach we're on now, I've been coming to this beach many times, especially when my kids were young. Why? Because it's a sandy beach, and this is one of the trademarks of Omiš. There's a lot of sandy beaches, and by the way, also in Duće. So we used to go here a lot. Kids loved it, of course, shallow water, great place. And even the coffee bar, Amphora here, used to be there at that time. It has a small pool in there. I don't know if people you can see, you can sit up in the pool, cool down the feet. Exactly what I used to do. Maybe had a little bit proteins, whatever was available. But what was not there at that time was this really nice walking path. You see, actually it's split. The red part is for bicycles and the other part for pedestrians. And this one goes all the way out to, I think, almost to the end of Duće. And there's a walking way all the way to the center of Omis, and basically also on the other side of Omis. So you're gonna see that when we walk around today. And I think officially, when we cross the bridge, we actually enter into the city borders of Omis. And for some reason, the walking path here is different color. I don't know if it's because bicycles are not allowed, but I'll figure that out. Anyway, now we are on the premises of Camping Galeb, one of the few camping sites there is in the area of Split. I mean, if you've seen our video from Stourbridge, you already know there's Camping Split in Stourbridge. But Omis is a way bigger, Galeb here is a way bigger camping site. And I have stayed there. We went there on a small camping holiday when the kids were small. And at that time, it was a way simpler camping site. Now you see it's full with these houses. So it really got an upgrade. I don't know if it's even a 5-star today. It might even be. And we're gonna blend in some footage, of course. On the other side of the camp is the main road, but we thought it would be nicer for you to see how it looks when you walk down next to the sea. But we're gonna blend in some footage so you can see when we drive through the city. But you can also walk up there if you rather want to walk next to the main road. So I see here, this is all new restaurant they built here. There's a pool. We're coming up to a pool, so it really got an upgrade. So if you're into camping or you're looking for accommodation to stay with the kids, a campsite like this, I think, is just perfect. There's so much to do for the kids here. They have a lot. There's also playgrounds and all this stuff up there. We're gonna get some extra footage for there, from inside the camp or from up, whatever we'll manage. But you can, of course, also, if you have your own camping wagon tent, you can still come here and rent a plot. It's definitely possible. No, I recall many years ago I bought all for doing tenting, but I figured out I was simply not a tenting guy, you know. So I have it somewhere in my basement. I think that's kind of, you need to be the right person for that, and I simply I was not that kind of guy. I mean, the size of this thing. And one of the things which Omish brands itself as is the city of kids, and I think it's pretty well picked. I think it's actually quite true. There's not many cities which are that family friendly like Omish here. I mean, in terms, if you add everything together, the beaches, which are great for the kids, and all the other stuff. The walking area, you don't need to worry about roads. So really nice if you want to go to the city in the evening for eating. Just follow this. Also down here they have another type of these homes. Really top notch. I think even, is that a jacuzzi? I think it is.
Yeah, small.
Huh. Yeah, it is. It is actually. Somebody was in there in the jacuzzi. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's 30 plus degrees. The sea is very warm. Why do you need a jacuzzi?
In the evening.
Maybe in the evening, or if you come here in April, then I think it would be nice. Now we are moving towards the river and going into the center. So now we are coming up to the estuary of the Cetina river. Very soon you'll be able to see it on my right hand side. So out here the river runs into the Adriatic, and of course to the left it goes up river, so we're gonna follow the river till we get to the bridge, so we can go over to the old town side. And of course we have more beaches to visit, 2 or 3 more beaches. So, you know, follow me. And Omis is known for one thing, or mainly known for one thing. It's the pirate city. It has a history with pirates dating more than 1,000 years back. Mainly in the 12th and the 14th century, there was pirates which were hiding up the river, and they had boats, fast boats, which was called, I think, sagita, and in plural sagite, which means arrow. And these boats were manned with typically around 30 pirates, which were rowing, and they also had sails. And because they were long and slim, they could go out very fast. So they would go out in the sea when the Venetian tradesman ship passed by, going down to maybe to the Baltic, and they would attack them. And of course, plunder everything they could from the ships, go back up in the river where they could hide, because these ships couldn't follow them up here. And they were basically terrorizing the Adriatic out here for several hundred years. And this is why, you know, Omis is so much connected to the pirates. And every year, it's around the 15th of August, they have pirate nights here, which usually take place around the river, the port. And you would see people dressed up as pirates. I also have a few photos of my girls when we went out here, where we all were dressed up as pirates. But you see, if you're a sailor coming here, it works a little bit different than most other ports. You need to go up the river. If you want to leave the boat here, of course, we're going to get out to the other port a little bit later. And we're going to go up to at least one fortress today. There's actually two. One is in the old town, which is not that much elevated. I think it's in a height of 35 meters. But you have another one on top of one of the cliffs up here, which is 260 meters up. Way harder to get to. I'm not sure we will manage today, but let's see what the day brings. If it gets too hot, definitely not, because it's a steep climb getting up there. But I will definitely add all the information, add some photos from prior visits I did there to my website, so you can see if that's something you want to challenge yourself with. And one of the other things Omis is very known for in the later years, it is a notorious, what do you call it, traffic bottleneck. Meanwhile now, they made the road, we're gonna see they made a bridge between two of the cliffs, which made it possible for people to go around Omiš, but still the bridge up here is a bottleneck, so if you're gonna come here on holiday, you need to know moving around. If you just want to go to Split, it might require a little patience, and especially if you take the coastal road. But I mean, you're on holiday, so who cares if it takes an hour to drive 30 or 25 kilometers. It's much worse for the people who has to go on job. And one thing which more or less is available each summer in Omiš, or I think it is each summer, so not more or less. There's a small amusement park built up here where you can have different rides in the evening. Yeah. Here it comes, the different tours. So they Poseidon, next excursion, Blue Cave, I mean, all the stuff which you find so many places. And here's a city map. Should we just have a look? So we started out here a little bit basically on this side of the beach, and we passed by the campsite, and then we went through here. No, I think actually here, this path is not there. And now we walked all the way down the river, and now we're gonna cross the bridge. And then we're gonna have a look at this. Here's a large beach. Of course, there's the old town with the fortress we're gonna visit. And out here is built a completely new promenade. We're of course gonna have a look at that one. And there's some nice beaches out here also. And here's the top fortress called Stadigard. You can't see it from down here now. You need to go further back than I saw it up there. But that's the tough one to get to. I think now you can see the fortress on the footage, the one we're gonna visit. So it's a bottleneck both if you're walking and if you're driving a car, it seems. Normally it's only if you drive a car. So if you're heading somewhere south of Omiš, don't take the coastal road. If you take the other road from Split, which goes over pass by a place called Sjönjavnica, you basically cross Omiš between the two mountains up there over the new bridge, and then you get out or get down and catch the coastal road, maybe 5 kilometers from here. But actually, let's go over there, but we're just gonna cross here. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna get back to the old town a little bit later, but I just wanted to show you this main walking street where, of course, you have lots of cafes. You have souvenir shops on that side. And you have here, if you want fresh produce, locally grown fruits, vegetables, this is the place where you most likely can find it. I think this is definitely smokbär from garden and pears. And olive oil, probably it's honey, mint, yeah. And now is the time of the year for the watermelon. And of course, peaches, what do you call the other one? Yeah, nectarine or something like that. But these are the fruits which are in season. So you have lots of places you can sit down here, eat. But later when we go through the old town, you're gonna see there's so many nice places in there. Funky chunky. Ah, good. Ice cream, ice cream. Okay, 3 in a row or what? No, 2 in a row. This one is fast food. We're actually gonna cross the road again. And we're gonna cross here. The crickets are on work today. So. We're gonna go out here. There's a small park here, but more importantly, there's another beach out here I wanted to show. And this one we're getting it out to is called Velika Plaža, the big beach. And there's a hotel here. Although Omis is by no means a hotel town. I think I don't know how many, but there's no. So I think this is maybe the biggest hotel. There's a few of them. It's definitely apartments or the campsite. Sandy beach with shallow water, so for kids, super nice. We can maybe walk here. Or should we walk down in between? Ah, that one. Rooftop bar. And to rent a deck chair, 10 euros. And the, what do you call it? Umbrella, also 10. So if that's for a whole day, I think I would be fine with paying that. And what does it say over here? Paddle boats, 1 hour, 25 euros. SUP, 1 hour, 20 euros. And one thing I forgot to mention is that because of the river of course has way colder water than the sea. So when the river water comes out in the areas closer to the estuary, the water is a bit cold out here. But I mean, at this time of the year, 1-2 degrees, I think colder is more a good thing than a bad thing. So many places to sit down for coffee or a bite. And they also have a little bit beach volley here, I see. Okay. And an inflatable. Okay, that one they put quite far out, the inflatable aqua park. So you see, pretty long beach. I mean, a lot of people can go here. There's some parking in the area, or on the opposite side of the bridge where we parked. That's where you find the most parking. So if you're staying a little bit further away in an apartment and want to go on the beach, you can definitely still go here with the car and find somewhere to leave the car and then spend the day on the beach. So that's quite good feature Omis has in that direction. And I see out here they have some stationary deck chairs if people don't want to be on the sand. Anyway, we are basically more or less at the end. So we are gonna turn around, head back to the center of town, and then we still have the old town to explore. We have 2 more beaches, and we have the new river in Omiš I would like to show you. So let's head back. So now we are almost back from visiting the big beach. And I think now we are either gonna go Old Town or we're gonna go out the new river. I've just decided, I think we're gonna take the new river because it is almost done. So I think it's gonna be a pretty sight. Yeah, here, support, we have tours. Where do you go here? You can go to Postira on Brzet, and that's also Brzet. That's the really nice sandy lagoon we visited. And you have Tabor, Posišća, Postira, and Sunset Cruise. So yeah, you can see up here the typical ones in this area. So if you want to do a day trip, definitely a person, but there's other activities you need to do when you're in Omis. I'm gonna get back to that a little bit later. Because of course with the river, there's certain activities which are more or less mandatory when you're in Omis. So all of this has been a construction area where we're walking on now the last, I would say, at least 1.5 years or something like that before they started on it. So they've redone the port here. You see new stones everywhere. How the road is going. Before it used to follow the buildings in a 90-degree shape. Now they made the road much more straight. And all this which we are gonna walk now didn't used to be there before. So let's have a look at that. Jure Joškan. Also, they're sailing even to Island Sholta, Rogat. Probably this is way more visited in the evening. Now it's beach time when we are filming this. So of course everybody, as you saw, we are spending the time on the beach. And this is as far as they got. I don't know if there's plans to extend it, but this is how far we're gonna go now. Now we're gonna go back to and explore the parts we are missing. I just wanted to show you this. And then later we're gonna catch the car and go out near the last beaches I think you need to see. So let's continue. Ooh, this. We will have to come back here later. I see that. After we are finished with all the walking, I think we deserve an ice cream. Anyway, now we're gonna go in the old town part. Where you see all the stone houses. Coffee bar, nice one. Also there was one with a courtyard. And here's the City Museum up here. And here's the end of the old town to that side. We're not going to go here, we're going to turn to the left. Souvenir shops and a little bit. Oh, nice. And as you see, lots of restaurants in here. And another ice place. Well, it's for kids. That's why you can get ice so many places. And a lot of coffee bars. And I think we're gonna return here because we have a climb to do where we're gonna go up when we go to the fortress. You can see it up there if you raise the camera. But first we're just gonna go down to the end of the old town. And of course, what to eat out here in Omiš, you can get all the usual dishes. But one thing which I like to eat if I come out here is trout. Why? Because it's of course a river fish and you have the river here. And here they have a little bit juice. And that I forgot. On these emblems up there it says Festival Klapper, and Klapper is of course another thing Omis is well known for. Klapper is the a cappella singing, and there's a big tradition about that out here, so they have a festival every year for that. They actually renovated quite a few of the buildings. I love that. The coat of arms. The coat of arms. But really now it's a nice old town they have here. It's the local wines. Just gonna see. I don't see anything. It's okay, it's Centripedac. I think that one is from Kastala. So now we are here out at the river again, and we have the bridge behind us, and you see the boat which comes there with people. Of course, on this side of the bridge, you can take boat tours, which sails you up the river Cetina. So you sail up under the bridge and to the other side. And I don't know how far it goes up. Some of them goes up to some restaurants which are up the river. So this is definitely something to do if you're going on rafting, which of course is a top activity. Rafting is up the river here. I think most of the tour companies are here. You buy the tickets. I think the meeting point is down here, maybe up there. I don't know. Anyway, they will explain you. And then you are taking up to the starting point and raft down the river, which is 3.5 hour trip. You have canyoning and different other water activities, but rafting is definitely the main one. So if you're an Omish, I highly recommend you try out that one. Good time for us to get climbing, but really a small but charming old town, and it's in the small streets. It's packed in the evenings, so I'm 100% sure if you go here, you're gonna enjoy going there for a dinner. You follow me? Oh, nice to hear. Yeah. We are out recording a video today for Omis. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's filming season for us. Now it's of course summer, so.
I think we've seen a bit around Split.
Yeah.
Also around Zadar, our families from Zadar.
From Zadar area, yeah.
And some of the ferry ones.
Ferry ones, yeah. Oh, yeah. But really nice to hear. Thank you. Yeah. No, so.
See you in person.
Yeah.
We're going to be in this.
No, we can cut you out, no problem. No.
We're just looking for a good ice cream spot here.
I think there's plenty of them. We just saw a few over here where we decided to stop a little bit. I haven't tried these ones over, but they looked quite good, so we're gonna try them later. Now we have to crawl we're gonna go up to the tower. Have you been to the one, Startegrat, the one which is really on the top? No, it's also too hot. We're also not gonna do it today. It's definitely, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's time for that. Yeah. Good, but then enjoy it here. Nice to see you. Yeah. Take care. Bye. So we can go up here. Should we go take this one? Yeah. So as you see here, the other entrance was down where we stopped earlier, where I said you could go up there. Now we're going to take this one. Actually, I never tried this way up, so it's a new for me also. We're apparently going on the church tower. Yeah, we're going on the church tower here. So Mirabella fortress, I think it's a 15th century fortress. It might be 13th. I can't really recall. And as you see here, €6, and it's open 8:30 till 10 in the evening. And last time I visited, I mean, it's not something you're gonna visit every time you're in Omis, of course. Last time I visited, I remember the entrance price was 10 kuna. So you can imagine it's some years ago. Dobar dan. 2 kard. Okay. We're gonna wait. Let's give it a go. I mean, should be kind of obvious. Now I know the word what I was looking for before. So, I can't recall even. Let's try this one. It's pretty steep. No, so watch out. But at least you have something to hold on to. Yeah. No, but we can get all the way to the roof. But mind your head here. With some effective windows, you know, when you can just put your hand out. Is it the same with this one? Yes. No glass. That's a special feature from the old days. No, do you know what? They changed it. I was on the roof one time. Back in the days. Here you can go up. Yes. Okay, you cannot film this. You can just film how it looks, and then you put the camera in the pocket. Or you can film me going up and maybe falling down. So we made it up in one piece. We are now at the top of Mirabella and have an amazing view over Omiš. This is the best view you're gonna get in this video. We're not gonna go to Startegard. We decided that it's simply too hot and it's a 45-minute climb. It's not temperature for that, but I also think this view is fantastic, and I'm gonna add some photos in the video from my prior visits to Sardigrad, which was not in the main season. But look, Newport, the big beach, the river, and the mountains. Beautiful. Just want to show people something. So, I don't know if it's visible, but you see the fence they built here along. This is a common way of doing it here in Croatia, simply to protect against rocks falling down. And there's different variations on how the fence is made. You can see some of it is way more robust, but I counted on the other side of the hill here. There was actually 3 levels where they added the fence. So probably because rocks has been falling down when there's bad weather and stuff, that's why they do this. So you can imagine if you see how it's falling, if something gets loose and you have the town just down there, not a nice combination if you don't have some protection. Anyway, we're gonna head down to some more even place, and we still have things to explore, so let's continue. Now we went out a little bit south of Omiš because there was 2 more beaches I wanted to show you, so let's have a walk out here. The first beach is called Slavinj and the other one Brzet, but they are basically connected. And these out here are more fine pebble, not sandy beaches like the other one, but as you can see, if you look this way, it's just beach, beach, beach. So that's Omis in a nutshell. Beach, great for beach holiday. And here they also have the nice walking path. And I can see a certain golden drink is very popular here. I'm not going to mention which one specifically, but you can maybe guess. So what do we have here? Oh, there's even a library. Borrow a book, return another one. Oops. And we have the guy with the corn. Okay. Nice place to sit. And I see here jet ski, soups, sofa sliders, all of the stuff. Get in here. Let me just check here. I just want to see. Reasonable. Pizzas were between 12 and 17 euro, but there was 20 different to choose between. Burgers was around 13 to 16 euro, depending on the type of the burger. With fries, also I think not unreasonable when you can just sit on the beach and enjoy that. I forgot to check what was the price of the golden drink, but probably around 5 euro. Pretty nice, the beach here, I would say. Nice pebble. White shark. There's a lot of parking here, actually. Just, it's not available, or it's taken, all of it, but there is space for quite a few cars. And this one is the one we are walking at now, is the Brzet beach. And what does it say here? Yeah, it said footpath, bicycle path, and 5 kilometers, is that the max speed or what?
For the bikes, yeah.
Yeah, and rent a boat, rent a jet ski, and other stuff ahead. I'm always afraid with that guy. I think it's a bicycle. And it's just the guy with the corn who's chasing us. Kokuro's guy. Kokuro's guy, Kokuro's guy. And then there's probably also a lady going around selling kadafna. That's the typical setup. Maybe somebody selling fruit. Okay, there's way less crowded out here, it seems, on these beaches compared to the 2 sandy beaches, or the 3 sandy beaches we visited earlier. Okay, now we are definitely going into a cricket farm. Inflatable aqua park also here. What are they charging for this stuff? 10 euro for 30 minutes, 60 minutes for 12. Okay, the longer you take, the cheaper it gets, relatively seen. For 25 euro, I think it says set for a whole day. Just continues and continues and continues. No. Wow. Okay, out here again it seems much fuller for some reason. Maybe there's some accommodation just up here where people can just cross the road and then be on the beach. And that's the photo. The photo there is from Stadigrad, the fortress up at the top. It's really a long beach. Just keeps going, keeps going. I think we're just gonna go up here and then that's it. So now we did quite a bit of walking. I think we reached the end. Pretty much. Seems like it. No, actually it continues. Or other beaches continues here, but anyway, we are not gonna go any further. I think that gave you an idea also on this side of Omiš. Super nice beaches, really friendly for the whole family, so what's not to like? So that's it for Omiš. Now we saw 5 beaches. We walked through the old town, we walked through the campsite. You saw we took some photos from the drone. And we went to the top of the fortress Mirabella. I hope you got an impression of the city as some place to spend a holiday. I definitely think personally it's a great place for families with kids. Maybe, you know, if you have kids, it's something to consider. Anyway, if you like the video, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel. Till the next one. Thank you very much.